We bought this 2021 Lexus GX460 brand new, and we drove it right off the lot and took it off-road and started breaking stuff on it. Today I'm going to talk about what went wrong, what broke on this Lexus GX460 in about 20,000 miles. All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to talk about this Lexus GX460. It's got a little under 20,000 miles, I forget, maybe like 18,000 miles on it. About a year and a half ownership. What did we break on it? So let's jump right into it. We brought it brand new off the lot, took it right off-road. It lives off-road, and let's talk about what broke. First and foremost, the first thing that broke, and I'm going to try to do this in chronological order. The first thing that broke is the original OEM low-hanging bumper. We took it off-road, tried to reach its limits, and we smashed it. Now, of course, we knew we were going to smash it. Of course, we knew we were going to cut that stupid thing off. But we wanted to see what the limits were on this low-hanging body kit. Second thing we smashed was the OEM side skirts or side rails or side steps, whatever you want to call them. Same idea, a bunch of low-hanging Lexus design nonsense. And we basically used them as rock sliders on a trail and crunched those up. The third thing we proceeded to break is the transmission. And when I say transmission, I mean the transmission oil pan. We high centered on a large rock on a mountain up here, and that required getting the transmission pan fixed. Of course, that's driver error. Well, maybe you could argue all of these are driver error, but we'll talk about this in a second. Now, the fourth thing to break was the hood latch. The front hood latch on this sheared off due to the bumpy roads and everything out here, but again, we're going to elaborate on reasons in a second, but that was due to the dealer not setting those rubber bumpers correctly at the dealership, and basically that allowed the hood to flutter and then weaken and then eventually shear off. If they had set the gone through the dealer inspection at the dealer when they came off the truck, that wouldn't have happened, in my opinion. The next thing that broke was the front radiator support / front clip. In other words, the sheet metal in the front. When we attach the deviate, this aftermarket bumper, to it. Now, the deviate instruction said to attach the metal bumper, which is attached to the steel frame, onto the sheet metal. Now, I knew that was squirrely and weird, but I trusted the instructions. It went against my judgment, and I paid the price because it sheared off, sure enough. Since the frame and the sheet metal are separated by rubber bushings, they flex at different rates, and it basically stressed out the sheet metal, and it caused it to rip completely off and then cause stress cracks in the sheet metal, the wheel arches. So we do have some cracks in the sheet metal on the wheel arches on both sides and the radiator support that I'm keeping my eye on to make sure it doesn't get any worse, but that definitely was a bummer, and I can't recommend Deviate because of that. If you do go with Deviate, whatever you do, or any aftermarket bumper, never attach anything that's attached to your frame to your sheet metal. They have to be separated by a rubber bushing one way or the other to allow for that flex difference. But if there's no rubber bushing involved, never ever attach it. That might be a no-brainer for some people, but I trusted the instructions, and it definitely screwed that up. And that's pretty much it. As far as the structure of the car, it's been perfectly fine. So real quick on why did all that stuff break? Well, as you know, this is a Land Cruiser Prado. When they ship it over here and turn it into a Lexus GX460, they basically add a bunch of body kit junk on it. And when I mean body kit, I'm talking about back in the day where we used to have some plain hatchback, and they used to try to put a sport kit on it to make it, hang low to the ground like a NASCAR or a Formula One car. That's the same nonsense that Lexus insisted on doing when they changed it from a Land Cruiser Prado into a Lexus GX460. It's so they could match the design language, and that basically meant killing the ground clearance by putting this junk on it. So of course, we knew that going in. A lot of people know that going in, and they're going to rip off that stuff anyway. Anybody who goes overlanding or off-roading, unless they're getting a Jeep Wrangler, any other type of SUV, they're going to tear off the bumper, tear off the side rails, and put on rock sliders, a shortened bumper, maybe a shortened rear bumper, and then skids underneath to protect all that stuff. So most of this stuff is literally the Lexus plastic junk getting beat up. But most people, again, are going to rip that off anyway. As far as anything else mechanically, it's all the driver's fault. It's my fault I high centered on the rock, and it is my fault that I attached this DV8 bumper to the sheet metal and it ripped that off. So taking those two things, driver error, out of the equation, as far as the structure of the car, the mechanical structure of what this is, aside from the silly plastic, mechanically nothing has gone wrong. And that's a testament to what this is, which of course is a Land Cruiser Prado. And they're built like tanks, and you know, there's definitely scrapes and bruises on the control arms, on the skid plates, and whatever else is under there, but it's all held up. I don't check anything when I come back from off-roading unless I hear some catastrophic clang or bang. These things are tested, torture tested all throughout the world, and they're built upon a history that goes back to World War II, and they make only minor improvements when they come out with new models or new generations of these. So they've been through their trials over decades, and with, quote, normal off-roading, you're not going to get any, quote, serious damage, even if you take this on some difficult trails. So again, if there's any lesson to this, it's the plastic junk, but you were going to remove that crap anyway. And so once you remove that, as long as you put your skids on before you decide to high center on things, you'll be good to go. And as long as you don't attach your bumper to sheet metal, you're good to go. They're truly tanks, no issues other than that. If you found this video helpful, please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a great, great day.